All right, what is going on, everybody? It's been a little, we just got back from Evansville Horror Con. We got a great guest tonight. He hasn't been on the show in a little bit. He's been on a few times. Awesome dude, Austin Janowsky. He's working on his new project, Dawn in the Dead. We'll show some of the things, but I always love his artwork and all his talented people that he worked with. Ton I want to catch up with him about. He's been killing it on the con circuit, acting, and just a whole bunch of things that we're going to touch on. I want to give a big shout out to Matt Grisham and Evansville Horror Con. Had a great time. A big shout out to Glam Goria, Heather Gonzalez, who joined me at the table and brought along my good friend Basamp, who's also a talented musician, incredible musician. Got a chance to jam with him. That was probably my highlight because I hadn't jammed with somebody in so long. What's up, Sean Scott, Tony Toth, and Michael Toth? But Basamp, who also, talented musician, played with legends and in the band playing drums for Ari Lehman and First. Jason hung out with us all weekend. Had a great time hanging out with my dude. All right, sorry about that. It didn't freeze, it crashed. My computer crashed and restarted. It was like something went wrong and it restarted, which totally sucks. But where was I? Big thanks to Basamp. Big thanks to Matt Grisham, Evansville Horror Con. Big shout out to Scarefest having a table there. I'm excited to be at Scarefest this year. We got an awesome location. We're going to be talking about a lot of that. We got a ton of cons coming up. The Evansville was the first of 2025. Our next one, I got a little break in between, isn't until the end of June. We've been posting the decks by Michael Toth, who's here now. Good to see you, Sean Scott, Doug Post Jr. I told you we'd get you on soon. So we're in the Krypt. I had all my tables and stuff and whatnot. Just everything's taken out of the Krypt, so we're up in the Krypt. And big shout out to Michael Toth for all his awesome stuff on the table. You see his skateboard decks, the cutouts. There's so much cool stuff he does. We're working on some new stuff. Lonnie McCullum and Jessica McCullum, Graven Images. We're actually working on some projects, some cool things of items we've never seen. And if you guys know Lonnie's work with the Freddy heads and he does the Pascal and stuff, these next 3 things that will be rolling out, they're in the works. It'll take a little while. We'll unveil the first one once it's done. It'll be a little bit, but we got a busy year. I'll keep you up to date on that. We're going to do a post Evansville stream, Heather, myself, Basamp, and see if Matt Grisham can join us again and talk about what a great weekend, because he's got a bunch of conventions coming up as well. But, without further ado, this man's been waiting out there in the lobby. I'm excited to have him come up and talk to him. The man, the myth. Let me make sure the applause is ready. One of my favorite artists out there, one of my favorite people out there, always been cool. We're almost there. Mr. Austin Janowsky. Look at that. I gotta give this man an applause. You've been crushing it, my dude. What was your last one? MegaCon in Orlando?
Yeah, MegaCon. Yeah, it was a really good fun time. Yeah, that's interesting because I was there more as a media presence than a comic book presence. It was a different animal, but it was lots of fun. I was around tons of really, really good horror stuff. So that was a good time too.
That's super cool. I mean, they had a stacked list. I remember because I've known Austin guys for a little bit. I met him at Phantasm Orlando, which was a great show. Tony Greco. Unfortunately, it's not around anymore, but some great people involved in it. That's where I met you and Joe Davison, and you know, we struck up friendship, and you know, we've both, I think, come a long way in what we do, and it was a shock because me and my parents, I was visiting them. And we saw, oh, there's a convention, MegaCon, and there's Austin Janowsky. It's like, hell yeah, man. So that was a great time. I know that place is a madhouse. It's like, I don't even know if I'd want to vend there. I'd be scared to just get in. That is such a big event. It's such a cool event too. They had the vacation cast there.
Yeah, it's interesting because like I was telling people 10, 15 years ago, it's huge. It was the size of what it's happening now. And yeah, they just decided last year to just kind of level up and bring it in and like really just get it done, try to be with the biggest show in the country. And I think they've succeeded. They're just, you know, they got amazing
it lives up to the name. It definitely lives up to the name.
Yeah, it was totally mega. Yeah, it was great. So, but I tell you, this year was lots of fun walking around, not being tied to a table. I mean, I'm thankful to be invited as a comic guest there. Don't get me wrong, but being able to wander around and kind of, you know, fanboy a little bit, meet celebrities that you really would love to. Like I met Hank Azaria, was able to talk to him. Super, super cool guy. Matt Lilliard is like the bomb. He was an amazing guy. And being able to really walk Artist Alley and just enjoy everything about it, instead of having to worry about getting back to my table to stuff. And then Rick Danford and Amy with Indie Horror Junkie and the film festival that they're really starting to grow and come to their own. They had some really good films. He had Screamboat by the producer who did, Terrifier 2 and 3. That was really good. My God, there's a Mutilator 2. They put out the second one. That was very neat meeting all of them. Fetus was a really interesting horror film. That was a good thought process. And they had some good shorts too. They had one of mine, which I was thankful to have. And it was a horror comedy called Killer Magic. It stars Joe Davison. I got the laughs it was supposed to, so that made my weekend.
That's super cool, man. I know what you mean about the celebrity guests. Matthew Lillard that was at Scarefest last year. There's so many guests you'd love to meet. Even this weekend, I wanted to. Why can't I think of his name? Frank the Rabbit. Why can't I think of his name? But I really wanted to meet him. We had some really cool Frank the Rabbit decks that Michael Toth did.
That's cool.
And that's one of my favorite all-time movies. But I know what you mean. As a vendor, you kind of get stuck and you don't have time to go and visit everybody you'd love to meet.
Yeah.
So I can imagine that the experience was real nice. Although if I was like, media is one thing where you got some access. I don't get into, once you put on a table and you have so much fun interacting, it's just a different experience that I really enjoy. I enjoy sitting back and talking to the fans that come. And I know, you're such a nice guy. When I met you, I mean, that's where I became a fan. It's like, this guy's cool. Joe's super cool. And I got to learn a little bit about you guys. And I've been following you guys ever since. And that was 2020-ish?
Yeah, that was right before, maybe right before the pandemic or right at the pandemic.
It was after. After. I think it was right after, and the masks were starting to come off, but we still kind of wore them.
Okay.
Because it was right before Halloween Kills came out. That's what I remember the most. Is it was right before, but the pandemic kind of came and left a couple times. Where once the vaccine came out, people were out and about a little bit more, and then we got the second wave of it. It was just a crazy time, time. But I'll give it credit because I had to find something to do. It kind of got me started with Doomsday's Krypt and finding something to do with the guys that take care of. So
yeah, I did.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes you got to use the time the best you can that you're afforded to. But man, you've been crushing it. I really loved, and I'm going to show these. I got everything. I was telling Austin, I was looking all over and I just didn't have a lot of time at birthday parties, and I just got back and I'm still in the process of organizing. But these you guys have probably seen in the live stream. I always have Austin's artwork because I'm a huge fan of it. This is from the volume 2, Zombies Were Human too. This is one of my favorite ones right here. I had to grab that.
Oh yeah, Stan the X cover.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And that's one thing that I want to touch on as we talk too is you're such a talented guy, writer. I mean, you pretty much do it all when it comes to the industry. Like, or I have a very good. I mean, it's what don't you do kind of in my opinion when it comes to you, because you're always doing something really cool. But these are always hanging up downstairs. But I'm going to touch on that too. I loved Zombies. We're Human too. It was a different style of comic that I had never seen, and the fact that you kind of wrote the foundation, but you let all your friends with talents write stories to it that they were telling, which was really awesome. Because when I opened the book and I'm looking at, I'm like, why is part of it color? Why is part of it black and white? And when you read it, it's like, oh man, that is genius. That is genius.
Yeah, for anyone who's here who doesn't know about the series, I made it to tell zombie stories before how they became zombies by these group of teenagers that were out foraging to get trapped, and they're trying to calm each other down to make up funny stories. But I'm all about collaborating, and I wanted to bring a variety of different writers and artists into the fold, and what better way than do the zombie stories. Now, what would happen is we would talk about the type of stories that would fit the overall storyline of what I was trying to do. I would let them know what it's supposed to be. Then the writers would pitch the idea. I'm like, okay, go do it. And then they would write the story. It'd be up to like 10 pages. And it wasn't just prose. It was like brand new comic book people. And it was like actors and directors and novelists and people who've never worked in a comic book ever, but always wanted to. That's what I wanted to do, a big, nice collaborative effort and make about 3 different volumes of graphic novels. We got about 365 pages of zombie goodness all told. So
you're obviously a huge zombie fan, because your next project is Dawn of the Dead, which I'm excited to see what you do with. And again, it's another collaboration thing with some people, at least with the covers. I don't know about the story yet. I'm excited for it. I definitely got onto a perk, made sure I support my good friend Austin. I want to see you crush it. I want to see you crush it out there, because I have seen not only Austin's, which I really enjoyed, these comics that we talked about. You also do children's comic. I want to touch on too.
Yeah,
and you're a big family man, and I've gotten to know that. It's a real special thing. You're a great guy, and Stanley the Snowman was a great Christmas story that you put out. That's really for the family. I mean, no zombies, no zombie snowmen.
No,
but you never know in the sequel. You never know next year.
Dude, there's so many people that wanted me to do a zombie or like a horror snowman Stanley, and I'm like, no, it's not the realm. Stanley was created to tell a Christmas holiday story that encompass family traditions and the commercialism that what's been happening. It's about Jenny Love has a magic blue that brings Stanley to life every holiday season. A little bit like Frosty, but with this, every generation has the ability to do so by adding something to Stanley. If you see pictures, like he has a hat, he has wooden arms, scarf, nose, and everything like that. So yeah, the main character Jenny's based, the mixture between my 3 girls, their attitudes and everything. And I just want to tell a real fun, Christmas story, and everyone has family traditions. My dad, his birthday was Christmas, so it was like we had a whole week every day planned out. And I just wanted to do something fun, and Scout Comics was nice enough to pick it up and publish it. It came out a few years ago. It still gets,
I own mine.
We still sell, and it's great. So yeah, it's a completely different feel. A lot of people are like, so zombies and then snowman. Explain that to me. And I'm like, well, I just like writing genre stories. You know what I mean? I have a faith-based fantasy series called Divine Retribution that I put out too. So it's, I love horror because horror terrified me growing up. I could not watch a horror movie until I was about 13, 14, and then I just finally bit the bullet and watched and realized that it was actually awesome, and then I couldn't get enough of it. So.
Well, I mean, we're talking writer right now, and I've been, more than impressed. That's why one of the perks I got, I made sure I got the script, and the whole that perk you had, because I wanted to, learn from it as well, because I have tremendous respect for you as a writer, and I'd like to try to get to writing if I could ever find time. I got a few things that I've been wanting to work on for a long time. But people don't know this, or maybe they have. I know, like Michael Toth and Tony have followed for a long time. You're also a fantastic actor. You and Joe Davison do some great comedy where it's not horror. You're a fantastic comedian. You're also very good at a straightforward character, but you also you got that comedy touch to you. I mean, you really are a versatile guy in that sense.
Thanks. It's funny, in high school, I was voted most theatrical. I was in from second grade on, but I liked to do art and I love comic books. So, 1989, you wouldn't believe it, but I had a lot of hair.
You showed me the picture of you drawing in a cafe or something.
Hair, dude. So I miss my hair. But anyway, I didn't think I'd ever get into acting at all, except for theater. I didn't want to do that. So I fell into comic books, and I did that for a long, long time. My backup plan while breaking the comic books was being a graphic designer, then art director, then creative director, played Disney and Universal and a bunch of agencies over the years. And when I retired, I was going to teach. I was going to try to go teach up at a SCAD in Savannah, and I fell into independent filmmaking. Had no clue that was actually a possibility. And then I decided to give it a shot. I talked to my wife. She allowed me 3 years, which I'm very thankful for. And started getting commercials and then independent films, and started just building from there to the point where, with Joe, we did a web series called South of Central, which is a funny.
I love that. You guys got to check that out on YouTube. I love that series. I'll post that up again because it's hilarious. And your character and Joe's character, I mean, the whole cast. It's wild. It's kind of gives me It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia type comedy where it's, I mean, every character is kind of straightforward, but there's certain eccentrics in each one of their lives, like your character and other characters, because you're such a straightforward guy, and that makes it funny. I love the straightforward comedy, certain people can pull it off, others can't. You pull it off very well.
Well, I realized very early on that I'm not a leading guy. I'm a character actor. I'm an ensemble guy, and I am perfectly okay with that. I enjoy that very much. I like doing both, comedy and drama. It's all about designing the characters and what fits best for the storyline. And, I've been told I have a great face, so great facial expressions helps a lot too. And that's kind of helped me along until maybe a couple of years ago. I've leveled up since then. I'm national commercials, just found out today I'm in a Ford Imprint commercial, and it got picked up for season 2. So I have my second year picked up, which is nice. I was in Bad Monkey, which was on Apple Plus TV that came out, starring Vince Vaughn. So that was very cool.
I wasn't working with him.
I did not. I met him, and he was very nice. But I actually worked with Zach Braff and Rob Delaney and Meredith Hagner. Those were my scene people, and they were super, super cool, super nice. It was weird because it was in 2022, so it was middle of the pandemic, so there was all that too. I did Hallmark type movies, so I checked that off the list, which was great. I'm in a new TV series called Grits. It's a comedy, raunchy comedy that's going to be on BET. It's going to be out in the next few months. And then I am in a extremely popular horror series on Netflix. That's all I can really say about it, but be on the lookout in October.
I'm proud of you, man. I'm so glad to hear these things because I know, I followed you for so long, and I know how tough it is being an actor and a creator and an artist, and even from guys that do different art like Michael Toth. I mean, no matter what you do, when you're an artist and what you do, has to grasp people. It has its ups and downs. It has its tough moments. And I know there were times where it's like, man, there's no, but you kept at it, you pushed at it, and look at you now, man. You're really, it's definitely paying off for you. And I can't tell you how happy I am for you, because I've gotten to know you and what a good guy. And I'm a fan of you. You know, I'm a fan of your talents.
Thanks, man. We appreciate
yeah.
that. It's enjoying the journey. You know what I mean? Enjoying the process. You know, with comic books, I made the mistake of worrying about trying to make it to the point where I got like, you know, made poor decisions on, and, you know, needing and just all this sort of different things. Not horrible things, just, you know, no one wants to work with a guy who's just kind of like, hey, you need to use me, you know, pushy. So with the film thing, it's just the fact that I can do anything in the film industry is just mind blowing to me. And the fact that I've done what I've done so far is just beyond anything I ever dreamed I could do. You know what I mean? Stranger Things is like a bucket list for me. And the fact that it happened is just, you know, this is like your top 5 all-time evers. And
yeah, man. I mean, you've been like, I love watching all you guys that I've now known for some years. And, you know, and I got to say, a lot of you guys are really crushing it. I could list off a bunch of names, and every time I see you guys post about what you're up to, I couldn't be happier for you guys. And what you do, like we talked about, you're so versatile that as an actor, I can't see why you wouldn't be in demand for everything, because you can pull the comedy. You do understand the horror. You do understand script writing and scenes, and straight you know, straightforward, you know, a straight guy, like in Hallmark movies where it's a serious movie, you can play that serious part, and you can also let loose and play almost a straight, you know, the straightforward character who's taken seriously, the teacher, like you said, or something, and
yeah,
and pull off that comedy effectively. And I love that about you.
The dry stuff. Yeah, absolutely, the dry stuff. The subtle humor.
Yeah. I mean, and there's very few people who can pull it off the way you're able to do it. And there's some of my favorite actors are the ones who can do that. Steve Martin always kind of looked at as like, you know, he can play that serious guy, but he always can pull that comedy part by doing it, you know, as serious as possible. So yeah. Awesome, man. Awesome. And the fact that you got a big announcement coming up too, that you can't say yet, I'm excited to hear about. But I know you really want, because this campaign's ending for Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you guys, I've read, if it's anything like Zombies Were Human too, and anything else I've seen by them, you're not going to be disappointed. The perks, and I posted them, but there's perks from very inexpensive to, you know, not even super expensive, but really cool perks with the foil covers, you know, you got a lot of options. The variant covers, you always put out the variants and always let your other artists shine too with the covers. And I think that's super cool. Like just the fact that you're able to work with people as well as you do. And it seems like you guys feed off each other. I mean, how much better do you guys feel like you've gotten by just watching each other work?
Well, you know, that's one of the benefits of doing it for 30 years is that you meet people, and you might not work with them right then, but you kind of keep in contact because you know you want to do something with them at some point. Like the cover that you have as the backdrop, El Vero flew. He's in from Brazil. He's
this one, right?
No. Actually, your image
one
right here. Yeah,
I love that part in the comic too. The mime one, I don't know. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah,
I enjoyed all the short stories with that.
So yeah, I'll get art and I'll get covers, and hey, Eric, I'll get different things, and I might not use it right away, but I know I'm going to use it probably for something. It's just a matter of what and when. The covers that we had, except for, you know, the really cool panel one that we did is the third one. I kind of designed that from some of the pages that Louis Gargana did, and they're great. But yeah, like the other covers were like, you know, 3-4 years old, because Yeah, wanted to do something like this. It just I had to wait for the right time. That's kind of like how I roll with these comic books. Like, okay, now we have to kind of put something out. And
Well,
Kickstarter's no joke. It's not an easy, there's you see these different people making lots of money, and most of the time is because scantily clad women sort of thing, or stuff like that. So, mine, I don't have, like, I don't make tons of money on it. I cover my art costs and I get a little bit more past printing. And that's fine with me because I want to put out the books. I'm not trying to make lots of money on Kickstarter. That's not my jam. I want to make sure that I can put out really good quality books. And the rewards are just a variety of between, you got your collectors, from the regular comic books to metal to foil to whatever. If you want like hand-drawn commission types, you've got that. You want digital, we have different digital reward tiers. My wife's a great sewer, so we have a purse. We did it for zombies. So we're
I was
doing
gonna mention you even got that purse. That's pretty
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
sweet. That'd be a nice gift for somebody. It's got some great art on it. It looks fantastic.
Yeah. She's got into making her company is Janowsky Creations, and she makes exclusive like one-off purses. There isn't one that's like multiples. It's each one is its own separate thing. With this one, the fabric will be done right, but everything's going to be a little bit different from like fasteners and zippers or something. I don't know. This is all her jam. I'm not sure, but I'm thankful that she wants to do some the purse thing because they had a real good response the last time we did it. And yeah, so Dawn of the Dead is interesting because it was created by Rick Danford. He's a director, and I got cast in a web series pilot, Dr. Gerald Scott. So we did the pilot. It did well, but it just kind of fell by the wayside. Sometimes independent things that kind of sort of happens. But I like the story that I wanted to maybe continue with it as a maybe comic book. So that's how the comic book came about. But now, because of what I'm doing and the renewed interest on my profile of what I'm doing as an actor, we might look to revamp and pitch it to Shudder or something. We have some doors open apparently. So I'll play Dr. Gerald Scott again. We'll see. But in the meantime, yeah, it's a 36-page color comic book. Art is by Luis Gargana. He's in Argentina. Marcos Rocha is from Brazil. Marcos colored my Killer in the Dead comic book, so I used him again. And the covers, yeah, you've got Alvaro and Casey Bailey did the main one. And then Justin Mason, he's a Marvel artist. He does Punk Spider-Man. So he did the pencils. I did the inks. And Dennis Ledman, he's in Australia. He does Batman for DC. Oh. So they did that cover. And then the third one is Lewis and Marcos with my design from the panels of a few of the pages. So
that's fantastic, man. I'm excited for this book. I don't know. I mean, I know what I read a little bit, but I can't wait to stick my nose in between the pages and read your comic, because it's one thing I usually don't have a lot of time for to read comics and stuff. But when it comes to Austin Janowsky and I know his things coming out, I gotta read it. It's like with the zombies. Now you did the 3-book series with that, and this is going to be a one and done with Dawn of the Dead, or is it going to be multiple?
No, so it's a one shot. It's a horror, but it's got supernatural elements and sci-fi elements to it. It deals with a clandestine operation, a company, by this really genius scientist who creates a machine that can bring people's nightmares to life. So they're trying to find the one right person to be able to do that, and they think they found it in the young girl Dawn.
That you see right below you. Her head's cut off.
It's playing words. So, but I will say that she's escaped. That's what the story's about. She's escaped, and will she make it to safety and expose them before, or will Silas Lovecraft, the main bad guy, is able to stop them and get her back to start his plan to change the world? That's what it's about. All the main characters for the new series that they want to do are in the comic book also. So you're getting everything you would possibly need for the new series to come out.
That's super cool. I mean, guys, this is something that could lead to more, for Austin. And he's doing it like the comic part, like you said, the acting's where the money's going to be compared to the comic. You just want to be able to put out a great and I got to say, like I said, every single thing I've ever gotten from you, the quality's been fantastic. I mean, it's very professional. You can call it an indie comic or whatever, but it's professionally done. And like you said, there's professional people that work on the stuff with you.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you're a professional, so don't, but I mean, people have worked at Batman. You've worked on a lot of different projects, and you've worked in so many different things. You worked with some great people as well.
Oh yeah.
Like you and Joe are some of my favorite. Like, I don't know, there's something about you two together that I really enjoy on screen and whatever you guys do.
I was happy that Joe played the lead in my little comedy, Killer Magic. If you don't, for y'all don't know, you ever watch a horror movie and you're like, okay, how did the killer get from outside to inside the house like that? Like, that makes no sense. That's the premise. You know what I mean?
That was a good one. You let me see that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's basically towards the end until he's finally like, okay, I call bullshit. What is this? And then that's where the comedy really kind of.
Yeah, because it's so dark and it's like, oh, what's going on? And you just put that. I mean, I've seen horror twists, but that was definitely a creative twist. That's why I love it. You always come outside the box. You're always thinking outside that box.
Yeah.
And something different and something new and something fresh. Just like with zombies, we're human too. I mean, the twists on it were real. I mean, not twists, but just opening the book, it was like, what's going on here with the color in black and white, like I said, but there's a really good plan. You thought outside the box with it. And I've never, seen anybody do anything like that before. And it was really creative way for the people surviving to get through it and keep their sanity. So everything kind of ties in together, even though the stories along with the main story, it's a way for their survival ultimately, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, I created and wrote it kind of like you do like a TV series. You got the story A, the main storyline, and then you have like the B storylines, which is like secondary, and then you have like what's happening at the time. So that's kind of what I was hoping to do with it. And I like picking genres and thinking of stories and trying to think of a unique twist, something a little bit different that would be interesting to me, that I would like to read. And that's kind of what I try to put out there. So,
well, you do it well, man. You do it real well. And now you said, what's there, 60 hours, probably less now? For the Dawn of the Dead.
Let me look, because I have it pulled up.
Let me pull up. And while you're doing that, I'm going to pull up the link and drop it out here, because we're on a few different platforms. And that way, if you guys want to check out the Kickstarter, like I said, the perks are fantastic. I love them. I was like, man, what do I decide? That's why it took me so long to pick. It's like, that's really cool, but that's really cool too. Yeah. So
there's 56 hours left. And we're about $218 from the first stretch goal, which is a Count Orlok Nosferatu postcards. So you can get it if you do just digital backing, you get a digital copy of it. If it's physical, you'll get a couple of the actual postcards themselves. The artwork is done by Brian Wolf and myself. So,
all right, I think I got too much of it. All right, hold on a sec here. Like I copied the link, but I think it copied the whole thing. So I want to drop it because I know a few people. You guys check this thing out too, because it really is fantastic. The perks and everything. While I'm rambling on here, I can't walk and chew gum. I think you know that about me right now. But here we go. Drop that for everybody. But check it out. There's some really, really cool perks. And I just can't see people being disappointed. You always get your money's worth with Mr. Janowsky here.
That's what I try. I try to make sure. I mean, the tiers themselves are a little bit more expensive than just actually if you went to a comic book store. However,
well, it costs you more. You're not mass producing it, so it's hard to. Trust me, I know other people and how how expensive it can be as somebody putting out your own comic and financing it yourself, and to try to at least make a little bit of, at least not go bankrupt trying to get it done, at least breaking even at worst, which I know that's not even really your concern. It's just being able to invest that money to giving out a good product, and that's huge for you. It's you take a lot of pride in what you do, and it shows. You take a lot of care in what you do, it shows. Like we talked, you've been drawing since you were what, out of the womb, the first week,
since I was
you've been
8.
Yeah, you've been drawing for years, and it's been a huge passion. And I mean, like I said, was it Joe that got you into the indie scene, or was it somebody else that got you into the independent movie?
Ken Anthony's a friend of mine. He tried to get into comic books. He does some things, but he was acting, and I'm like, how are you doing this? He's like, you have to audition. And he got me into this short film called Change of Wear, which was fun. And then Rick Danford wanted me to be a ghoul. And I'm like, yeah, please. And then I was a bodyguard for something else. And then there's agents here in Florida. I had no idea. So I got a couple of things, and I got an agent, and then I started taking classes. You have to, the problem is you're trying to be as creative as you possibly can, but you have to make it a job. So you have to decide how much you're going to invest to be successful. And what I've done in these different, jobs that I've had, whether it's design, whether it's comic books, I had a very high threshold of quality that I wanted to reach in order to be satisfied with my creativity. And it took a lot of work when it came to doing comic books and stuff like that. And that's what I brought into the film stuff too, to get back to your thing and having the comic books looked with, professional. You need to be able to put it on a comic book shelf and have it look toe to toe with Marvel and DC. There can't be any, if you're looking between the two books, you need to be able to first glance think that there's no main difference. There's no real difference. You look inside the artwork and the quality, you can't really tell the difference. Now the stories might be different because people know different characters, but from the eye test has to be there that, okay, these two basically look the same in quality and how cool they are, and they're eye catching and everything. So for comic books, even if it's my own thing that I'm doing, that's what I've always done. And luckily I've had some success with that. And that's how I take it with acting and stuff too. Everyone has a natural ability to do stuff, but you have to train, you have to work at it and learn what's good and learn what's not good, what works, doesn't work. And you need to have different things in your arsenal. You need to have different irons in the fire. That's why, like you mentioned earlier, all these different things I do, because to me, that's all different aspects of being creative. And if something isn't working in one part of the creative, I can go to something else and help recharge myself to get back to what I'm doing. Luckily, with film and acting, it's the work is now paying off. We're starting to see some pretty good results from it. And it's really weird because now that I've done a few things that people really know, like you walk around, they kind of look at you like they don't know, like they know you, but they don't know you. Like I got a ton of that at MegaCon. Like everyone,
I know you.
Yeah, like really kind of looking and stopping, but not really. I don't know. So that was different. But I'm doing film and I'm doing stuff because I'm enjoying the process, and I'm lucky to have some success with that. And I have a really great support system, which is more important than anything. My wife is my biggest cheerleader. She helps me immensely to get started, and because of that, I'm actually able to focus 100%. And this is my job. I can say I'm a working actor, which is just insane. But yeah, for anyone who's doing the creative stuff, even if you're just doing it for yourself, make sure that you're hitting the level that you want to hit. And if you're not, that's fine. Just those are goals to work at. So I'm always growing. I'm always trying to do, and I'm always trying to learn. I have an audition for a feature film this weekend starring Mark Wahlberg. And I had training on it. I did a 30-minute because I had questions on the script and how to do action. So I got a professional to talk to me about and give me good direction so I can have a good audition, hopefully book something, you know?
Yeah, it's super cool, man. And then like even today we were talking and we weren't sure we'd be able to do tonight because you were waiting for a call back and then you didn't get it and then you did get it, which big congratulations to you,
Thank you.
man. I'm so glad to hear, you're booking these things and it feels like if it was easy, everybody would do it. I mean, that goes without saying. If it was easy, everybody would do it.
Yeah.
You got to have talent, but you also have to have a lot of drive and you have to have really thick skin. You have to be able to get knocked down and stand back up and believe in yourself. And you've continued to do that, man. I'm so glad you have, because I think you have a lot to offer fans out there and things you can add to movies with, like you said, you're always expanding, you're always learning. You're not a one-trick pony kind of guy. I mean, you have a lot of skills in a lot of different areas.
Yeah. I try.
Yeah.
I keep trying.
You do. But that's what artists do though all the time. Like I've seen so many people, like it's like, how do they get any better? And you just keep watching them and somehow they do. Somehow they do, but that's what true artists do. They're never happy. It's not like, oh, I got it. Nothing else I need to know. I got it. You're always just trying to learn the next thing and improve on every step. And I love that, man. Like that's like my big thing that I become a fan of somebody with is you just see it, you watch it, being on Facebook and seeing people's posts, seeing your posts. You see that they've had their ups and downs where it hasn't been easy and they're just putting everything into it, all their heart and passion, and you watch them improve, you watch them get better, and then you're watching them succeed. And I love it. I absolutely love it, man. I'm so happy for you.
Well, everyone's journey is a little bit different. I went 16 months without any bookings at all, like nothing. And so what I decided to do in 2023 is when the strikes hit, I took a step back and I started from scratch. I completely redid how I went about trying to audition, learning scripts, creating characters, memorization, the whole nine. Took a complete step back because I have the time and revamped how I did everything. What worked for me, what didn't work for me, what do I need to improve upon? And then, once that happened, something kind of clicked. And now things are much better. A lot of people get a little success, like they're happy with that. I'm not. I want to go more and more. I have no illusions about being famous. Don't care about that at all. If I get famous for something, that's great, but I want to work.
Well, I want famous and successful are two different things. And
I want to be the dude. Like again, I know you, but I don't know your name. I am happy being that dude. If you're happy with my work, that's great. You know what I mean? That's what I want.
Well, I'm happy with your work, and I know your name.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate that, John. And I like your work too. I like what you're doing.
I appreciate it. I wish I had half the skills all you guys.
Well, I remember when you were first talking about trying to do this, and you were like, you just wanted to help people. And I said, just, dude, you have improved so much. You have done so well with the web stuff. You've built this thing up. You go to shows. You lift people up. You are doing exactly what you said you're going to do when we first met, and you are exceeding. So good on you.
I appreciate that. We all have our ups and downs, but I'm really lucky in the sense where I have a job that I love, and that opens the doors so I can do the things I like to do in Doomsday's Krypt, where it's more about, I'm very lucky in that sense. I'm very lucky with my job. I'm very lucky with what I do. I'm very lucky with the friends I have, like Michael Toth here, who's helped me make tables look great, and Vinny Kukara, Lonnie McCullum and Jessica McCullum. They just always Scott Strock. I mean, all these people put so much heart and soul into it. So for me, it's really cool. And, I've just been lucky. I have so much fun with it. I get to travel everywhere. My parents get to come with me. You've met my mom. They're probably even bigger fans now than they were. My mom's like us. People know Doomsday's Krypt. They know my mom more than me. I'm telling you.
Oh no, that's how we met, dude. Like your mom came over. She was wandering around and she introduced herself and said, "Well, my son does this. You need to come meet him." And then she came back. Do you have time to meet him? And then I was wandering around. She goes, oh, good. You have time. And walked me over. That's how we first met.
Oh, she was waiting. Once you said, oh, yeah, okay, cool. I will. She was probably just talking there.
Yeah. Yeah. She was waiting.
Did you ever see what Mike made? Or he made the Goblin, the Goblin from Maximum Overdrive, and put it on her scooter.
Oh, that's
her big thing. Yeah, that's actually how we started with the cutouts. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to find one of those. He's like, well, I could probably make a cutout, and that's how we kind of started doing the cutouts, which turned out to be really cool.
That's cool.
Convention merchandise. Yeah. So my mom's kind of started the inspiration on a few pieces. Mike kind of owes her every thanks for, to my mother. He owes her every penny he gets. But she's so much fun. James Jude Courtney absolutely loves her. Like, I've seen him a few times. He don't remember me unless my mom's there. Wow. And I walked up to him at Scarefest, and him and her are talking about her being in a movie he's doing and being on a stripper pole. I'm like, what the hell am I walking into?
That's funny.
Oh, well, I thank you, Tony. I mean, Tony's always been such a big supporter out here. That's Michael Toast's mom. And now you got, I mean, I'm sure she's already your friend, if not. But she's seen you on here. She'll be adding you as a friend, and she will be supporting the hell out of you because that's just what she does. She's an awesome fan, an awesome supporter.
That's awesome
supporter. Yeah. I'll be sending her out something soon. I got to ship out Mike something, but I got something cool for her. She's got a skeleton with a Doomsday's Krypt shirt on with a wig. But it's I forget, what do you call her, Rebecca or something? I saw her video on it. It's pretty hilarious. Her and her sister
That's funny.
Are crazy. You get those two girls in a row, it's crazy. You just watch them. You'd think they were, they're back in their teenage years, and they're sisters. Usually they want to tear each other's hair out, but they seem to enjoy it. Your mom's birthday is coming up soon. Okay. Well, that thing I'm thinking I'll have to add some more into it because I got to send out some stuff. Got to do something nice for Tony. She's always doing so much nice stuff for me. So big thanks to her.
That's great.
Yeah. But that's again, touching on things. It's, I've been able to enjoy Doomsday's Krypt. I've met so many great people. Like last weekend, I took one of my guys that I work with, and he had the time. Took him to the casino. He won on slots.
Okay.
Hit the jackpot, penny slots. He went putting $5. He walked away with 30. I was proud of him. Like, all right, let's cash out, and you can go to something else.
Yeah.
Nope, I'm cashing out, and I'm out. I mean, it was more. He was excited to tell everybody and experience that moment and love it. So it was a really cool moment.
Slots are funny, man. Long time ago when I first got into playing poker, I got knocked out. No, I was going to buy the tournament. A friend of mine was playing cash, so I was waiting for him. He's like, "Well, just hang out here at the slot machines until it opens." I'm like, okay, I've never played slot machines. He goes, just put your money in and go like this and go like this. Just go like this, max bet, and then do this. So I'm like, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing this.
Well, what am I looking for? Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, I got the ding, ding, ding. The next thing I know, I won $400.
That's awesome.
He's like, how'd you do it? I'm like, I won $400. He's like, you need to cash out. I'm like, oh, so I'll stop doing this. Okay, I cashed out, and that's how I bought into a couple tournaments.
I didn't know you were a poker player. I love poker. I actually hadn't played at a casino in years, and I did okay for I didn't stay too long because I had to get up for like 45 minutes. I did pretty well. I got some people upset,
I've cashed in some WPT events. I have owned a free poker league. I grinded. We're
gonna have to hang out. I'm gonna have to learn some of your tricks. See what I'm doing right and wrong. I mean, it's nice when you don't care. Like I came in with what I didn't care. I didn't care if I wanted all in, but I didn't want to I was playing cards. I wasn't gambling.
Yeah. I stopped grinding. God, this was 20, but this was like almost 20 years ago. Like I would go to the Hard Rock. I would do 30-hour sessions. I would.
The one in Hollywood?
No, the one in Tampa.
I didn't like that one as much. Did you ever gone to the other one?
Well, that one's incredible. But okay, and I'm not sure if people have ever been there. There used to be the poker room was right in where the slots were. It was wide open before they moved it off into the side or whatever. And that was a really nice room. And so that's where I did most of my playing. But yeah, like poker was a big deal for me, but that was like 20 years ago. I almost never play. Like I'll play every once in a great while.
That's kind of
But
how I was. It'd been years. I mean, I don't want to say it's been 20 years, but it's been at least 10
yeah,
since I
and
went to a
it's
casino.
changed a lot, like a whole lot. So my playing style is very ancient compared to how people play nowadays. And I do okay. Like I can read people
Yeah.
okay. But you know, people go on, they have the chart in their head and they're like, well, 54% of the time said I should call. And I'm like, what? You know, so I don't fully get it.
I don't play like that either. You know, I don't. You know, I can't. You know how it is. We're not going to explain how we play poker or whatever,
Right.
but there's certain tells and certain things you look for.
Yeah.
Certain things you can, you know, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, especially when you're playing with a bunch of good players.
Yeah. Yeah. But, you know, doing WPT stuff was a lot of fun. I enjoyed those. Those were
Poker tournaments. I like the tournaments. I'm more of a tournament style. Like I'd love to go into a tournament and just play.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's my favorite. I did pretty well at one tournament. I only really got a chance to play one tournament. It was more online, or we do the weekly tournament at the bar or something. And I did pretty well on there. You know, I did pretty well. I mean, but it's bar poker. I'm not playing pros. You know, some people thought they were, but
oh yeah, some people take it way. Well, I can't see, but I was one of those people when I first started. I took it way too seriously.
Yeah.
You know, free poker's like free poker. I have a buddy of mine who still plays, and he got so upset. Like it's free. They don't care.
Oh, I had that guy at the table the last time. He's like, you know, talking. Yeah, I mean, you know, and he'd been there all day and he had enough to drink in him. And you're like, yeah, all right, man, do your thing. You're gonna go all in. I'm just here to play some cards.
Yeah, I know.
He didn't like the turnout. And I was only playing for a few minutes. I wasn't trying to clear anybody out. I played 45 an hour or something like that.
Yeah.
And hung out and played a few hands, and I hit a few good ones.
And that's
played pretty well.
You get up and you go, and they get
mad. Yeah. Take your money and run. You know? Yeah. No sense in sitting there. I ain't gonna let people try to figure me out. And I wasn't really in the mood to be up all night playing poker when I have to, you know, be at a convention the next day. So it was kind of fun to just go for 45 minutes. No, I was only going for maybe 45 minutes an hour.
Yeah.
And I took what I took, and if I won, I won. I lost, I lost. So it made it pretty loose. Where you know how it is when you play a lot before, it's like you got that extra little pressure. Like I want to win because I want to win.
I'm make X amount of dollars. Yeah. Now I'm down. I need to get back up. So I got to grind more. I should have just left. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I've been there. Been there a few times, but you know, it has its ups and downs. That's poker for you. And usually I'll know like by the table if it's one I want to stick with too long anyway. And I 45 minutes, an hour at each one I played on each night was plenty.
If you're enjoying yourself, that's a two. If you're not,
it was fun. It was fun. I had a good time. I mean, it was a fun weekend. Evansville HorrorCon with Matt Grisham. He does a lot of Evansville Raptor Con. Love to see you get there. You know, they got a lot of great. They have great guests, but he's a good guy, and I don't know how the Comic-Con runs, but I'm sure somebody like you would be a great fit for the fans to meet.
That'd be fun.
You know? I'll definitely. Hey, Matt. But no, he's a really good guy. Put on a great con. He's expanding. I think he's doing Nashville Horror Con. He's got Evansville Horror Con. He's got Evansville Raptor Con. I think he's doing Louisville Horror Con. So great show by him, and I had a good time. You know, I wasn't sure. I was hoping the weather would be good, and we got really, really lucky. We had that window where.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Because I got a 2-wheel drive pickup truck, man. I do not want to drive thousands of dollars of merchandise into a 2-wheel drive pickup truck.
No, you definitely don't want to do that.
But I did drop the link, man. I cannot. I'm just excited for you, man. I'm so glad to see everything going so well for you, and the family's doing real well too.
Everyone's good. Yeah,
I know. You know, you had.
Yeah.
You know, it was a rough run, but everything's going really good with that.
Yeah,
the kids are all nice and doing well and thriving. So I'm excited. You know, you got a great family. You know, family first. I got to meet you and your wife at the second Phantasm. I don't think she was at the first one.
Yeah, no, she was. It's just the second one.
It was your birthday weekend too, so I was able to buy this man a coffee too, a birthday coffee.
Yes, it was.
And then he went home with COVID.
I know.
I was the only one who didn't. Mick Strawn went home with COVID. Mick
Dude,
Benson went home with COVID.
sucked.
Yeah, and I was right next to him. I got lucky. Knock on wood. Poor Mick. And just we were talking about COVID at that. He's like, I just got over it. And he came in not feeling well, and
Yeah.
poor guy.
I
But,
think
he wound up missing Minneapolis Comic or Crypticon because of it.
yeah.
So, yeah.
No, the actress who's in the Saw movies, I think she's the one because she had COVID, but she wasn't showing symptoms. That's why she came. I think because she hugged everyone and just, you know.
Well, I had something at an art piece, but I didn't get a chance to go over and meet her. So I guess I got lucky.
Yeah, you very got lucky. Yeah. Yeah. COVID was no fun. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but it you know, it was a week of sucking.
Yeah. Well, certain people react to it different, you know. Luckily you did, it was, you know, for you. But I know it really kicked you know, a few people's butts pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we gotta catch up soon again. Guys, check out Dawn of the Dead. And if you can, check out Stanley the Snowman and check out Zombies. We're Human too. And we're going to post all that stuff up after. I'm going to get some of the links for some of the projects you've been in. You guys, check this guy out. We're going to show a bunch of different things from horror to comedy to straight shooter, the serious guy. You know, I could see the principal kind of deal. You know, you don't want to upset this man, or you're going to be flunking, kicked out of school.
That's right. You're mentioned. You are suspended. You get to sit there, think about what you've done.
But
you get the horns.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. You could be the coach from Dazed and Confused.
That'd be funny.
That was a great role, a great film. Well, I'm sure you've already done some really things I'm a fan of on screen. So I can't wait for the next thing I see on there, my friend. And we're going to share that out. Guys, support Austin. Check out the campaign. If you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, share it out. Check it out. Small donation, decent donation, but make sure you read it. Make sure you support this man because he really is that talented.
Thanks, man. And thanks, guys. I know you guys are here for him, but I appreciate you listening to me babble on too. That's I'm a big fan of John's myself, so anytime I get a chance to get invited onto his show, I jump at it. So
we'll get you back on soon. We'll get you and Joe on. I'd love to get you and Joe.
Oh, dude, yeah, please. Let's when the Demon Pinball shoot. He has a new horror film called Demon Queen Pinball something. Anyway, when the movie's done and out, have us both on and we can talk about the movie because I'm in the movie. He wrote and directed the film. It'll be a lot of fun.
You know it, man. You're always welcome on the show. If you ever have anything even before that, you have something you want to talk about, you just hit me up. Let me know. We'll get you on the show and we're going to talk about it. Because I think you earned quite a few fans here tonight that'll be supporting you as well. Guys, last run, he was at 56 hours when we started. We're at 55 hours, guys. Yep. Just give the man some support. Check it out. You won't be disappointed. I got an unboxing coming up. I got some cool stuff from Lonnie that came in while I was in Evansville.
Cool.
I'll be putting more of the skateboard decks by Michael Toth in the store and a few other things. I'll keep you guys updated. I got an interview Wednesday. I want to make sure it's confirmed. We'll keep you updated on that. And until next time, guys, we'll see you later. Peace out.
The finger guns because I'm cool.